Hey team, it's Tom from FitCure. Welcome back. Super excited about today's lesson. Today we are going to get a little bit more bespoke on this carbohydrate habit, and today's title is Eat Right for Your Body Type. So, if you guys have been consistent with your carbohydrate habits 80% of the time, and what I mean by that is you're having 1 scoop of starches for women, 2 scoops of starches for men, ideally post-workout, if we can, making those smart carbohydrate choices 80% of the time. If you're choosing mostly vegetables and beans over refined sugar and flour, and you now want to optimize things, then this next section that I'm going to read through, I want you now to start to try and take action on this. But if you guys have sort of just been following the lessons so far, absorbing the information, that's quite cool, bit of train spotting. I'm like that. I like to absorb things first before I put them into action. Still listen, but I want you still to focus on it. For you guys who are not actioning 80% of the time, that 1 scoop of starches for the women, 2 scoops of starches for the men, yeah? Okay, so essentially, blanket nutrition does not apply. If only it was that simple. There's so many diets out there and everybody's reporting that the carnivore diet, the ketogenic diet, high carb, low fat, so on and so forth. It goes nuts with regard to what people are saying, and everybody's giving you a different story. You know, I ate a high carb, I ate a sweet potato on Thursday and it changed my life. You know, we're all reporting this amazing information, and it might partly be true for me, the individual that's in front eating these food. The human body is such a unique, complex, adaptive mechanism, if you like. So it responds and it's affected by its environmental habitat and its lineage, essentially where you came from, and each one of us is very, very unique. But essentially we can fit our body types into 3 different brackets. So we've got different types of what we would call somatotypes, yeah? And that is essentially the natural shape that your body should be. So we have your ectomorphs. Your ectomorphs are very lean. They digest and use carbohydrates very well. So these are usually your slimmer build people with a narrower frame, usually a narrower face as well. Ideal carbohydrate consumption, when we're looking at like the macronutrient content, protein, carbohydrate, and fat, the sort of ratios of those, 55% carbs, 25% protein, 20% fat. And again, these guys thrive on a high carb, low fat diet. So if you move down, next we've got the mesomorphs. So the mesomorphs are you sort of middle of the road guys, medium build. Usually, if they work out, they build an athletic physique relatively quickly. And these guys, it's usually 40% carbohydrates, 30% protein, and 30% fats, yeah? Lastly, you've got your endomorphs. So these guys put weight on very, very easily, yeah? These are the people who naturally struggle to burn calories and usually carry more weight, particularly around the midsection. These guys, they thrive on a high-fat, low-carbohydrate diet. So essentially 25% carbs, 35% protein, 40% fat. And again, this is what it's saying, but you can sort of blend yourself into 2. So I might be a bit more of a ecto-meso, or you might be someone who builds muscle that also carries body fat. So you sort of intertwine into 2. That's why we're going to go into it more in a second. It's important to experiment with these things as well and figure out exactly where you fit as the individual. So when we're looking at your ectomorphs, if you think, yeah, straight away, boom, yeah, I'm an ectomorph, awesome, bring home the donuts. Well, not necessarily how we should roll with this, yeah? Just because you respond well to carbohydrates. So good nutrition improves health, performance, and body composition. Just because you can eat 15 cakes a day and stay skinny, it's not going to help your performance, and it's not going to help your, certainly not going to help your health. Yes, you need those 3 intertwined. So still, if you're an ectomorph, make those smart carbohydrate choices. Choose those whole foods, those unprocessed things like your sweet potato, your quinoa, your rice, your oats, and your beans, yeah? So still make good carbohydrate choices. For your endomorphs, carbohydrate-wise, again, in terms of timing, so you're going to have it 1 to 2 hours before a workout, before a hard workout, that is anyway, and within a window of 1 to 3 hours post-workout, you might have a handful of starchy carbohydrates. The rest of the time for you guys, you're going to be on that higher fat diet with getting your carbohydrates from your vegetables, essentially. So it's figuring out where you fit. Start asking yourself the question, really, where do I fit in terms of this body composition if I am bringing it to the next level? But if you guys are not at this level yet, if you're not making the basic nutritional principles and eating right 80% of the time, I still want you to ignore this for now. You have to go through the process of getting that one hand of carbohydrates, getting those two hands for a man. Go through that process first, figure out. But then once you get past this and you start figuring out your somatotype, the key to success with this is curiosity and experimentation. So whilst I've given you what the guidelines are, as we say, of, I need 55% carbohydrates, it doesn't work out like that. It's never worked out like that for anybody. You've got to figure out the right dose for you, and that's the key for success. Experimentation, curiosity. Yeah, the principles are well known for basic nutrition. Get consistent with those, and then start cracking on with the experimentation. So ask yourself before our final lesson tomorrow, what are you going to do with your carbohydrates to optimize body composition? Do you need to increase those carbohydrates or decrease those carbohydrates? I'll see you guys tomorrow for another lesson.